Okay, so I'll try to get down to some things. Through adverse childhood experiences that I've been through, I have experienced latency issues and defense mechanisms that I've used, and I'll try to go through some things that I've came across, programs and styles of behavior, speech, to help you better whatever you're going through. Probably start off with some hippie stuff first. Hopefully, you guys follow. So, this would be how energy and matter manifests itself. I took pi and golden ratio, but I put to where it went down to the corner, not in the center, so I could explain the condensing and expanding of both of them working together. Golden pi. So, as energy travels downwards, you can see it work in a straight line, and at a certain point, it destroys itself and grows and destroys itself to where it throws itself out in every color and every sound. That would be the multiverse. So if they talk about you existing in different energies or different mind frames, that's where it'd be. But the universe is all colors, all sounds condensed into one reality, and that's when we start to get the eye of the beholder, hierarchy and archetypes, where people will stress their reasons and their values, and if they're not unison, they will send out mixed signals. In sync would be all colors and all sounds working together to come to the conclusion of being evolved. One of my favorites is objective personality, because it has to do with more of the bare working of the mind. Everyone has these abilities, and we tend to lean on one more than the other. You're everything, but you lean on one thing more than the other. So the objective personalities will help you construct the way you think, and that's what starts to build your attachment styles. We have secure, ambivalent, avoidant, and disorganized. I put these shapes and these mouth gestures to them because I felt like it would help explain better. All the other things I read didn't have these characters, so I developed them. The bottom would be nonviolent communication. He would only use Marshall Rosenberg would only use the jackal and the giraffe. And I established tiger and elephant because it goes along with the secure, the dog being dirty or clean, asking of you what it needs. The tiger being caged or free. Is how you put out your energy into the world. And giraffe is the point of view. So you either have a perverse point of view where you're analytical, or you help others see their inabilities. And the elephant would be trust and distrust. So jaded. Anything that you say is good, they would hold against. So law enforcement, hospitals, things that are supposed to be beneficial. No, I'm jaded. They've always left me hurt. And that's when you get into their communication, where I'm okay, you're okay, I'm not okay, you're not okay. And we establish where we're at in a relationship. I tried to develop authority figures, the animus and the animus, your kind, war. So how the feminine gives and gives, and the masculine just is. So no matter what you take from it, it's always going to be matter, and feminine's always going to be energy. But us as people, we can have a preference of how we decide others to see us. And that's when we come into our perverse view and why one another are wrong. So when different styles of speech and being come into a relationship, It's why a lot of people will refuse to go forward with their journey, and that's when we get to the hero's journey, which I dissected and put together off of Carl Jung's iceberg, the id, ego, and super ego. I felt there was two sides of that game. Yes. So the ego would interpret vice or virtue, which one you leaned against harder, and you would determine what side of the tree you're on, and how long you've stayed there. So you've tried to be a student, or you just go party. Prince and princess usually need their needs met, so when the party's going on, they're complete pleasure oriented, and as they stay in the party long enough, they become victims to herd mentality. They have to do something special to put themselves apart, and they become worms and slaves to their cause, and slowly enter madness, where the kings and queens reign. They will either rule through dominance or submission, and that's why I feel a lot of people would rather be a boss, because to be a leader, you have to embody certain values. So personify what you teach. All truth is pain. Divine pain teaches us everything we need to know about ourselves. So if you do choose to go the virtue route, you get the sorrow of victory, the people that you had to choose to leave behind. You survive hardship. Use John Wooden's building blocks to establish better prayer, so you can see how weak your character is. To be a good servant, you have to embody all archetypes. If someone asks you about garden, any idea, you should be open to and able to express grace towards. Most of the madness, the other side of it, is about closing ideas out, and a good leader always is open.
Look at making a baby one.
Good job, sweet girl.
Look at making a baby one.
She's making the babies.
I make this one like.
So when we get back down to the ego, chakras and sounds, colors and sounds, what you manifest. You have your bottom chakra, red, which would be scarcity or abundance, and then it goes up through indulgence and willpower and your guide, how you synthesize with truth, how you see, you perceive your reality, and how others. And violet would be how others perceive you, if you're bright or dull, if your colors are muddled or bright, vibrant. Try to use Hebrew, the first initial language of clench of the jaw, flick of the tongue. English being more finite, I found that A, E, I, O, U, the long sounds, would be more like questions. What, why, where, when, and the consonants would be more like answers, short, choppy. So if you were in a slave mind state or a servant mind state, you'd go, hey, bro, or hey, dude, or why, kid, or so you can take all words out of language and get the context of what someone's trying to say by how their inflection and deflection of voice. Acquire what you admire. I always look up to you. One of my sole purpose for stepping forwards, besides my Shelby. I love you, Shelby.
Oh my God.